UFC Vegas 52 best prop picks on Underdog Fantasy for this weekend. Let's get into it. Up first, I like Charles Jourdain over 72.5 significant strikes. And Charles Jourdain's a guy who likes to put on the volume. He averages 5.7 significant strikes over 15 minutes. So on average, he's actually going over this number already. But also in this matchup against Lando Venado, who is another fighter that's willing to stand and trade on the feet. We've seen him in wars with Bobby Green, among other fighters as well. I expect this fight to play out primarily on the feet. I know Veneta technically has a wrestling advantage, but historically speaking, he really doesn't use his wrestling all that often. He averages just over 1 takedown per 15 minutes. And basically the only way that I see Jourdain not going over this number is if Veneta comes in here, takes him down multiple times, and just makes this a slow-paced, grindy affair with a lot of takedowns involved. But really, I just see this fight playing out on the feet. And Jourdain's a guy who, well, he starts out a little bit slower. In the second and third rounds is really where he starts to pick it up. He's attempted over 200 significant strikes over his last 3 fights, and 2 of those he went over 100 significant strike mark. So I just think 72.5 is a pretty decent line here in a fight that I think is going to be a banger that primarily plays out on the feet. So I like the over in the first fight of the night. And I probably shouldn't add this, but you can get a better number on Prize Pick. Next fight I like is on the rival side. I like Montana De La Rosa -1 takedown against Maycee Barber. And even though I favor Barber to win this fight, I actually do think we're going to see a little bit of wrestling and grappling success from Montana De La Rosa. She has been an aggressive style grappler over the course of her career. She averages over 2 takedowns per 15 minutes, and she's actually attempted over 6 takedowns across her UFC career. I actually think the reason we're getting such a playable line here on Montana De La Rosa is because Maycee Barber has gone to a little bit of wrestling in the past. You know, she's landed a takedown here or there as well. So I think that's why they're kind of expecting, you know, maybe Barber can land a takedown or 2. I just really don't think that's going to be the game plan here. She has a clear striking advantage. She's going to want to keep the fight on the feet. And we've seen in the past when she has a striking advantage, she's not looking to implement her wrestling game whatsoever. And I think that's what happens here. You know, it's kind of similar to that Jillian Robertson matchup where Robertson's going to be desperately trying to take the fight to the ground. I think that's what Montana De La Rosa is going to do, whereas Barber's going to try to keep it on the feet, use her striking advantage, her power advantage, and just keep the fight standing, potentially get a finish on the feet. So I don't think Barber even shoots a takedown here. So it's basically like we just need De La Rosa to land 1 to get a push, and I think she probably lands 2 here at a minimum. So I like Montana De La Rosa -1 takedown for our second pick of the night. And you know I had to add somebody over 40 for the final pick of the night. That guy's Clay Guida. We're riding with my guy. This is a matchup against Claudio Puelles where I think this line is pretty decent just because Claudio Puelles does average over 2 takedowns per 15 minutes. So I think that's why this line is where it's at. But I actually think Clay Guida is going to be the one having the majority of wrestling success here. Guida averages over 3.25 takedowns over 15 minutes. And the way these two match up stylistically, Claudio Puelles is more of a guard player. He's willing to pull guard. He's willing to flop to his back. He only defends takedowns at 55% in the UFC, and Guida is going to be the much stronger, more technical wrestler in this matchup. So I actually think Guida is going to be the one landing takedowns, whereas Puelles is going to be the one willing to play off his back, accept guard, and fish for submissions that way. So I really like Clay Guida here. I expect him to be the one forcing the takedowns. -1.5 takedowns is a playable line because I think we see 2, 3, potentially even 4 takedowns from the Guida side, and I'm not sure if Puelles has any wrestling success in this matchup. So we basically just need Guida to land 2 takedowns, and I think he does that here. So we're going with the old man, Clay Guida, legend of the sport, to cash his ticket for us. And as always, you're going to want to lock in those picks on Underdog before those lines move. Those that have watched my videos in the past, you know these lines move pretty quickly a lot of times on these bets, especially if 1 or 2 people start tailing them. They'll take down the lines, adjust the number, re-release the lines as well. So make sure you get on this early. We're going to go ahead and lock in those picks right now. First one was Charles Jourdain over 72.5 significant strikes. So we're going to add that to our bet slip. And then over on the rival side, we're going to add Montana De La Rosa -1 takedown versus Maycee Barber. And then, of course, our last pick of the night is Clay Guida -1.5 takedowns over Claudio Puelles. And as always, guys, you can get 100% deposit match up to $100 if you're a first-time register on Underdog using promo code John Kelly or the link in the description below. If you're going to sign up and play anyway, you might as well use a link, get a free $100 up to $100 deposit using that link, and it helps me out as well. I definitely appreciate it, guys. Should be a fun card. Good luck on Saturday, and we'll see you guys next time.